All right, so we're just doing the briatic tree, and I've given you malkuth, the black tar, olive, and russet citrine, the wire up into yesod, the purple sphere at the sacral chakra, the orange and green spheres at the hips, so orange at your front right and back left, green at your front left and back right. And then now 4 wires from malkuth going in to the orange and green spheres. Okay, now, woohoo! This is going to be a heavy tree, so just be mindful. That I call pulling on the pants. Taking it from malkuth and putting it into hod and netzach is putting on the pants, okay? Putting on the underwear is from yesod, the purple sphere at the sacral chakra, into the hods and netzachs. So get those 4 wires. And now putting on your belt clockwise. Okay. Okay, so now you have Tiferet, which is the yellow sphere at the heart. Tell me when that's good. Now, the 5 wires going from the green and orange spheres and the purple sphere rooting into the yellow sphere. So it's the connection to Egypt. All right. Now, we have the red and blue spheres at Gebra and Hesed. Front right and back left, red spheres. Front left, back right, blue spheres. Now we put on the suspenders, which is the orange to red spheres and the green to the blue spheres. So hips to shoulders. And now we put on our necklace, which is red sphere to blue sphere to red sphere to blue sphere to red sphere. Clockwise. And then from Tiferet, the yellow sphere in the center, into the red and blue spheres. So 4 wires going up in an upside down pyramid. Now, we have da'at at the throat. So a cord, a wire from the Tiferet into the lilac sphere in da'at. Okay, now the red and blue spheres into the lilac. Okay, now we have the temples, which are the opalescent purplish black for Bina at the front right and back left around the head, above the shoulders. And then the silvery pearlescent gray for Hokmah at the front left and back right. And then we have the shoulders up into the temples. So I like to call this the neck brace. To reestablish your spinal column. So you're not a slippery snake. All right. And then the halo. So pearl, like the gray to the black to the gray to the black to the gray again, clockwise. Now, from dot, the lilac, plug 4 up into the temples. So lilac to opalescent black, purpley black, and then the silver pearlescent gray. Okay, so that should be stable. And just make sure that the red spheres went into the black ones and the blue spheres went into the gray ones. Yeah, okay. And then we have the crown, which is Kater, which is white sphere. And then dot the lilac into the crown, through the pineal and through the pituitary. Into the crown, good. And then the temples to the crown. Okay. Now, send. We're going to establish the connections above and below before we build the trees. So let's just establish them. Send the wires to chase the pearls, get the pearls, and do a few more iterations. Up, 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 up. Tell me when that's good. Okay, down. And make sure you're getting into Earth Star and Earth of Earth Star and Earth of Earth Star. And then to the core of the Earth, Charlie says. Okay. Now we can start to build our trees. Now, understand this. You have to make a decision if you want to do the below or the above first. And what would your choice be? And why? Yeah, so the above is atziluth and below is yetzirah at this current space. Eventually we will be in Asaya and we will have the ones above us, and then we'll have all the worlds below us. but we'll be existing in Asaya instead of briah. But right now, we're not even getting into Asaya yet. So the harder processing, I always like to dig the roots in, because that's like activating the shadow components, and then allow the spirit light to come through to heal all the shadow components. So that's why I'll dig the roots in deep first and then like climb higher. So it's like, yeah, like a plant, because what it is like collecting parts of myself from hell, broken pieces of myself that need to be healed by God. But if I go first up into the heavens without the pieces of myself, I'm just going to be thrown. Like, what the fuck is the point of that? Like, do you get it? So it's almost like a waist. Down first, then up. So it's fine. Yeah, it doesn't matter. just so you get, like, you should just know my reasoning behind it, so that you, if you're going to teach this to other people, that you can offer that reasoning and your reasoning. Okay. That's it. All right, so let's do the yetzirah tree. Remember that you're going to be standing on the shoulders of the lower self of yours. Okay? And you're not standing on the head, you're standing on the shoulders. And your higher self in atziluth is standing on the shoulders of you in briah. Does that make sense? So that's how we're going to do it. If you need to get onto the website to look at the pearls so you can see both atziluth and yetzirah, please do. Okay, so I feel like I need to reevaluate how I did this teaching. I think I need to actually label the colors as like what the fundamental colors are, and then I'll just reformat the pearls, and that will be really easy. But I think that will make life easier for me and my future students. So, okay. So, pure white brilliance is at the crown. So here we have yetzirah. So we're going to start from the bottom and we're going to work up. Okay, so imagine yourself looking like you, but you're standing on your shoulders. And so at your lower self's feet, you're going to do, I don't want to say, it's kind of like black tar with gold sparkle dust in it. And then the russet and the olive and the citrine. But it could be, but Lucifer says it could be more of a liquidy tar and maybe not as viscous. You can have it both ways. Okay. It's going to be rich, but it's not going to be like super thick like the briatic tree. I mean, it's still thick. It's not runny, but it's just less viscous. It's less like putty and more like it can flow. That's what I want to say. So it has more flow. Okay. Now, but there's also a viscous version of it too when we need to have it. So it could be flow that solidifies. So it's like, let's say a masculine version and a feminine version. Does that make sense? Okay. Now the russet, olive, and the citrine below their feet. And then this one is the berry dark purple at the sacral. So it's darker, and I like to think of berries as in fruit and fertile. And as in berry as in like it digs in deeper. And then the cord from Malkuth to Yesod. Okay, and then we go from, so we have the russet red and then the green apple at those hodes and net socks. So where it used to be orange, it's russet red. And where it used to be green, it's Granny Smith green apple. So the russet red, front right, back left. Granny Smith green apple, front left, back right. Okay, now we're gonna put on the pants. So the wires from Malkuth into hodes and net socks. Okay. And then we do the underwear. So from yesod, we plug in the wires to hodes and net socks. All right, and then we do the belt going clockwise. And then we do, so the heart is the pink salmon, rich salmon. Okay, so that's Tiferet, and we do the hodes and net socks into the rich salmon. And then we do yesod into the rich salmon, so that very dark purple into the salmon one, into the heart. Okay, so then at Gebra and Hesed, which is normally that red-blue, it is now bright scarlet, so it's a brighter red, and it is a deep, it's deep purple. So it's not as dark as the berry dark purple, it's just deep. So it's a little darker than normal purple. So the red, the bright scarlet's at the front right, back left. And the deep purple is at the front left shoulder and the back right shoulder. And then from Tiferet, so the rich salmon, we go plug into the shoulders. And then we do the suspenders. So the Granny Smiths to the deep purples and the russets to the bright scarlets. So hips to shoulders. And then we do put on the necklace. So we go bright scarlet to deep purple, deep purple to bright scarlet to deep purple. So shoulder to shoulder to shoulder to shoulder. Okay, and then dot is our Kali pink. And we remember that our Kali pink integrates with the briatic Malkuth. So it's a layering. Because remember, we're standing on our shoulders. So just blend that Kali pink in to the Malkuth. Got it? Okay, so we do our shoulders into our dot, Malkuth, okay? So the bright scarlets into the Kali pink Malkuth, because dot and Malkuth become one. And the deep purples into the Kali pink. So we do that pyramid at the throat. It's okay. And then we have the temples. Oh, I forgot one thing. We have one more thing we need to do on the briatic tree. Can we revert? So we need to go from Tiferet, the heart, the yellow sphere, up to the temples. I knew I forgot something. That's just to solidify. That's okay. Good? Yeah? Okay. So the same thing goes below. So we need to get the temples put in before we do the heart to the temples. So we do. At our right temple, front right, is that chocolate brown, and that's on the back left. That's Bina. And then it's blue pearly gray at the front left temple and the back right. And then we do Tiferet, the salmon, and we do 5 wires up into the temples. And then we do the neck brace. We do the Gebras to the Binas and the Heseds to the Hokmas. So the bright scarlets connect with the dark browns. And the deep purples connect with the blue pearly grays at the temples. Straight up. Now, from dot, so the Kali pink, we do the 4 wires into the temples. So from that throat to the temples. And then we do Tiferet into the Kali pink, so that from the salmon to the heart to the throat. And this throat chakra, this is like the cave of wonders throat chakra. This is the second, it's referred to as the second third eye. So this is where all the DNA real work happens. Whereas like Gebra and Hesed, that would really more like work with the throat chakra. Okay. Okay. So I like to say that Da is at the throat because it is, but it's like the higher throat. And Gebra has said that's at the lower throat. All right. So, and then, so we got the dot to the temples, and then we do the halo. So the dark chocolate brown to the blue pearl gray, from the blue pearl gray to the dark chocolate brown to the blue pearl gray to the dark chocolate brown, clockwise. And then we do the Kali pink to the crown. And let's make this crown bleed into your sacral. So this crown actually goes into your sacral chakra. It climbs all the way up. Okay, now the 4 wires from the dark chocolate browns from the temples into this crown. So that means your sacral chakra works with your lower self. Okay, so it's like the crown of your lower self. All right. So, and then we have the dot. So that Kali pink up into the sacral of your higher, of your normal YOLK self. And then we've got all the wires up and down. Now, if you're really smart, you would understand that that dot bleeds through all the different chakras in your legs and climbs your tail DNA wires. And it like how we go through the pineal and the pituitary, same thing. Charlie says not same thing, better. Or maybe that was another dragon. Okay. It's okay. Okay. Now, Charlie wants to cry. He said we're doing such good work. That says something, by the way. Okay. So now send the pearls, send those wires deep down into the earth, and do the iterations finding the pearls. Go into Earth Star and Earth Star of Earth Star and Earth Star of Earth Star of Earth Star, and then into the core of the earth, and find the the mechanisms set up for you to plug into the core of the earth. Don't just plug into the lava and think nothing's there. There are mechanical devices to send those etheric wires to plug in. So find them. And then if you can, make sure that the lower self has a tail that you are also blending and weaving the DNA wires through down. Because if your current self has a tail, your lower self also has a tail. There we go. That's better. Okay. Do you have energy to keep going? Okay. Give me just 1 minute to breathe. Most of the work is here, Collingwood. All right, so let's do this. Now we have the higher self atziluth. I'm dying. Okay, so the feet of your higher self is standing on the shoulders of your physical body in briah, okay? Malkuth begins at your current throat chakra of your physical body, your YOLK self. I'm going to call what we're currently in the YOLK self, okay? This Malkuth is yellow. It is not citrine, it's just yellow. It's kind of like a bright yellow. Okay. So that is at your throat. This is Malkuth of your higher self. Now, Yesod, the sacral chakra of your higher self. to make sure it gets into the sacral, is indigo. This is for your higher psychic bodies. This starts to make you independent of any spiritual authority on the planet. You will be the authority versus them. The problem with this planet is that the current spiritual authorities are so fucked that nobody can get anything done right. So this begins to free you from those enslavements or traps. Okay. Mommy goddess likes to say, independent, go! Which is what the real indigo children were supposed to be for. Really paving the way for like cutting down the delusion of like this current paradigm. Okay? There's a difference of like how I call people slaves versus how a lot of spiritual people call people slaves, or like how they do the left-hand path. They're not actually teaching freedom. I'm teaching self-discipline and obedience so that they can break free of their own inner rebel that's fucking them. That's like high priestess magic. That's what you're allowed to do. So like all the archangel Kamaels and all the dragons and the seraphim, they're allowed to do that. The other people that are not in that training have no authority, no permission on this planet to do it unless they're being trained appropriately. So you have to have seraphim higher self. Okay. So we've got the sacral for our higher self. Now we have the hips. So what is normally orange is now it's really hard to translate this, is now violet purple. So it's you know what the violet flame looks like, right? That plus purple. So that's where it's normally orange. And that is to purify the narcissism in the logical brain. Okay. Now, what's normally green is now amber. And that is to ground and like lava attraction, the Netzakian energy. So it's like a honey. Amber is to resonate with earth. So that's what that color is for. Okay. So now put the pants on for your higher self. Also, I like to say when you do the wire from the feet to the sacral, I like that wire to be referred to as pulling up the zipper. And that makes sense, right? Because you're pulling it upwards through your pants seam. So we're pulling on the pants with the wires into the violet purple and the amber. It should be reversed. All right, we'll do that next time. Okay, so then we have the indigo. So we pull on the pants. Now we're pulling on the underwear. I'm sorry if I'm slow here. I'm trying to process new downloads. So you've got the underwear for your higher self. Now you're pulling up the zipper. So from the malkuth below the feet at your throat, so that yellow sphere, now up to the indigo sphere at the sacral. And then you put on the belt. Going clockwise. So from the violet purple to the amber, to the violet purple to the amber, to the violet purple again. Now, you should be putting out an alpha signal that is higher than what anybody has got on this planet right now, which is cool because we're just going to get higher. Okay, so now from the sacral, okay, so put a rose, like a clear pink rose colored sphere at the heart. Okay, yeah, because your higher self is insanely intelligent and healed. So now from the hips to the heart. And from the sacral to the heart. So you have that pyramid with that fifth element coming through. Okay, now we're gonna put on this shirt. So we need to get the shoulders. So at the right shoulder, by the way, eventually we will flip the trees so that they are reversed and like a spinning DNA helix. Right now, I'm just training you with the colors and the frequencies, okay? Okay, at the front right shoulder, it is orange. And the back left shoulder, it is orange. At the front left shoulder, it is deep violet. Violet is different color than purple. It has more blue in it. So deep violet is darker. And that's at the front left shoulder and the back right shoulder. Okay, let's put on the suspenders. So from the hips to the shoulders. And then we do the necklace. No, we do the heart. Let's do the heart to the shoulders. And then we do the necklace clockwise. So from the orange to the deep violet, to the orange, to the deep violet, to the orange again, going clockwise. Okay. So we've got the shirt, the necklace, the suspenders, the pants, everything. Okay. Now, that higher self at the throat has a dot. This dot is more like a etheric gray. It's an ethereal gray. What I like to call grace. It's like brilliant gray. Okay, so that's at the throat. Now from the shoulders to that throat, second, third eye, throat. And just this saying, the teaching that should be coming through is, what I say manifests on earth. So repeat that. I am the spiritual authority on the planet. Yep. So that or something better. We always allow for a little bit of grace to come through. That's what the grace is. Okay. So it's also grace as in it might erase some of the bad shit that you try to do for higher. Okay. So just remember you have that higher self working. Now, we have the temples to build and put through. So at the front right and the back left at Bina, it is crimson. So this is a darker red. This is your ability to go, I am Maleficent's bitch. I am able, like crime is in. I understand that some of the things that may be seen as criminal are actually God's will. Because human law is not accurate. So that's your higher intuition. And mommy goddess coming through. This is where you like to be yourself and rebel against the system. This is why you are here with me like a QA analyst, testing the matrix constantly, because you understand this intuitively. I have to counsel you or lecture you zero about higher laws, period. Okay, so that's Bina. And Hokmah is the light, pure, soft blue. So that's at the front left and the back right. Now, from the throat, we do into those temples. And we do the crown from the crimson to the pure soft blue, to the crimson to the pure soft blue. Now, the neck brace, but let's do the heart to the temples first so we always remember it. Okay. And then we have the shoulders to the temples. So the orange to the crimsons. And the deep violets to the pure soft blues. God and love will always find a way. You are not bound by superficial laws, or even if there are superficial universal laws. Do you understand? Yes, of course you do. Okay, so from the heart. Now, there is a double standard. Not everybody has the same policy, but they do. They just have to earn it, okay? Like, when you get into the higher planes, you understand these things. And, like, you will live, like, in a karmic way, karma-free when you're applying to it. So there are laws of grace that come along, all right? So let's go from the heart to the throat, and from the throat to that new crown, which is just brilliance. Remembering that God is brilliance. That higher self of yours, that crown, just pure brilliance. Okay, so the temples to the crown. And then send those wires up to find more pearls and do the iterations going up. Until you get to another great central sun. Okay. We can either stop here or we can move forward. You're good? Okay. Let me take a 10-minute break and I will get back to you in 10 minutes. So it will be 10:55 for me. All right, sounds good. All right, so this will be recording 1 and then I will do recording 2. Okay. End meeting.